All right, great, great. Well, welcome everybody. It's happy Friday. It's Friday, and the grind includes Friday, or thank God it's Friday, whatever acronym you want to use, but it's all welcome here. And nice to be ending the week with everyone here in the room. It's been a great week. It's been a productive week, and I hope for you as well. And why do we end the week with wins for the week, you may ask? Well, because majority of business is losses, let me tell you from experience. Okay? Majority of business is losses. That's the reality. I'm not here to sugarcoat things, but the wins fuel us, right? That's our fuel. We continue. We get these small wins that compound over time. We get more clients, we sell more products, we bring in more revenue, right? These are good indicators that, hey, something that we're doing is working, right? It's working. You just have to stick to it, right? You have to have stick to itedness, and everything is figure outable. Every single thing is figure outable, and you really have to have stick to itedness. Okay, that's a new word. So let me welcome our co-host here to the stage. Please like and repost the space. Would really appreciate it. We're going to get into some great topics here all around, everyone sharing their wins for the week. And then we'll talk about some Friday fundamentals, right? Because as we head into the new year, there's really no secret here. But if you're locked in December, you got great momentum going, right? If you're part of Will's community, you're part of, the Revenue Ronin community, you're part of the Startup Circle community, you got good momentum heading into January. You want to keep that momentum going. Most people wait till January to start to put it into another gear. No, start now. Start now. So yeah, Andy, good morning. How's it going?
Good morning. I'm wins for the week. Breathing is a privilege. Waking up, it's a good day. And yeah, like Timo said in a different chat, Christmas is every day that ends in Y. So if you wake up and you have a shot, you can take it. There's nothing stopping you today. Today you have okay. As long as you have a phone of almost any persuasion and an internet connection with that phone. You can get a free X account. You can get a free Instagram account. You can get a free TikTok account. You can use the camera on the phone to record stuff and post it and publish it. Might be slow, might be terrible, but it's free. And you can post as much, as little, as different, whatever you want.
Yeah, and all
It's for the week is, you're here. You showed up, and that's it. That's the win. Keep showing up.
yeah, and I'll add on to that, it's one thing people always ask. Well, here's a quote. I may butcher it, but the quote is, uh, people may people already know what to do. It's knowing what to do and not executing on it, right? We already know what to do, generally speaking, and then it's important to know what not to do. This is just as important, right? So you got to know, okay, here's what I'm not doing, and here's what I need to do. And then you may even know some things that maybe aren't true for you. So, how do you navigate this area? How do you navigate? Well, you work and you collaborate with operators who have done the thing, right? Who have done the thing, who have, you don't know it till you live it, right? I see Jim down below, LazyCanadian. He's come in here all year and told us his exact playbook multiple times. Multiple times. Post 10 to 20 videos a day on Instagram and TikTok for, 2 years, and you can make 30K a month. Just make sure you're capturing the emails, adding some value, bringing them onto your email list, and pre-sell things. That's it. He's given us the playbook multiple times. So there is no excuses. There is no excuses. As long as you're relentlessly executing every single day, you can get there too. There's no question. So yeah, thanks Jim for being here. Always appreciate your presence and you modeling success for us and modeling the way. And it's always great to see you. Let's welcome Timo to the co-host spot. Timo, how's it going? Good morning or good evening.
as well. I'm actually trying to find some place. Driving around in a neighborhood I very rarely visit. But quickly to the wins. Vacation started today, so next time 9 to 5 is on January 7th. So now I have time to build the fun stuff. Even though I do like my job and it's fun, but yeah, I'm looking for this place, so I'll stop yapping so I don't crash the car.
Yeah, sounds good, Timo. Yeah, well, congrats on heading into vacation. That's awesome. And yeah, you definitely have some good family time and some time to work on the human skills ventures. So yeah, man, happy for you. And thanks for being here. Thanks for grabbing the co-host spot. Really appreciate it. And yeah, let's check in with Patricia and then we'll go to Will. But let me welcome a few people here in the room here. We got Extra Viv, Extrative. I don't, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but great to have you here. We have Cindy. Great to see you. Loving the PFP. We got Danielle. Good to see you, Danielle. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. We got Megs in the building. Megs, shout out to Megs. If you guys aren't on Megs' email list, man, she does some great emails. And she's been a Ronin, guys. She's been a Ronin, so keep an eye on Megs. So good to see you, Megs. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. We got Jason Barrett here as well, an ex-legend. If you want, to know more about social media marketing, building your business on X, Jason is an expert. I've learned a lot from Jason. He's a fellow Ronin as well. Known him about 2 years on this platform. So thanks, Jason, for being here, and thanks for being a Ronin. We got VB here. VB is an ex-legend as well. He's all about the entrepreneur's operating system and having the mindset of an athlete, and really teaches you a lot of great skills on how to operate at a high level, modeling athletes. So thanks, Phoebe, for being here. You got Dan Ryan. Dan Ryan was the first ever Ronin. He runs Mandalify. Mandalify is an awesome tool where you can make some designs on shirts and other apparel. So definitely check it out. And let's see, we got Brandon here. Brandon is a high performance, helping high performing entrepreneurs be themselves in a way that people will pay and ask for an encore. So loving that new write up in the bio, but helping you become more unstoppable, right? In alignment. And Brandon's really leading from the front on that charge. So thanks, Brandon, for being here. We got Butterfly 311. She's a positive love and light on this platform. Nothing but positivity radiates from Butterfly 311 on all the spaces she visits and on her timeline. So make sure you want some inspiration, positivity, light. Butterfly 311 is one for you to follow. So thanks, Butterfly. Thanks for being here. We got Michelle as well. Michelle, great to see you. Happy Friday. Wishing you the best. She's in Texas. Another one, a lot of positivity, love, and light on the platform. And yeah, just a lot of great other people down below. I'm not going to go through everyone's bio, but you know who you are. So thank you. Oh, and we got Famous in the building as well, who just finished another 24-hour marathon space. Ronin energy. If you're looking for someone with Ronin energy, look no further than Famous. Okay, he's been doing this 24-hour spaces for a year now, and he's committed, and he's not doing this for accolades or anything. He does it because he wants to better humanity, and that's a big mission. And so, Elon's ideally going to come in and say hello to everyone on his space on Christmas. That would be awesome. But yeah, good to see you, Famous. Happy Friday. We got Jim, Lazy Canadian, as well. You know, if you want to learn more about stock investing and real estate, multifamily, Jim's your guy. He has a great TikTok channel as well as Instagram, always sharing good, quick tips about financial literacy, financial education. It's not financial advice, it's just education and literacy. And then he does have some programs and has a great community as well. And that's kind of how he inspired me to come up with the Ronin Lunch and Learns, or not Lunch and Learns, the Ronin uh Ask the Ronin Anything monthly. So I'm doing that now for all Ronins. So we jump on a Zoom call once a month and you guys can ask me anything, and that's for all plan levels. I have 3 or 4 plan levels, but we offer that for all plan levels. So, and we do have some new Ronins to report here as well. So, and good to see you, John Carlos. Thanks for being here, brother. Happy Friday. Hope all is well. So, okay, let's go over to Patricia, and then we'll go to Will, and then we'll go to Jim, and then Famous. All right, Patricia, how's it going?
All right, it's going good. It's Friday, and I'd say my win for the week, and I think Will agree with me here, is just staying consistent and doing the little things and staying in the mindset of, I am an entrepreneur. I am focused. I am productive. I am gonna do what I can today. Maybe not everything I need to, but what I can. Um, and so that for me, that has been a big one, especially with the fact that we're doing our Christmas early for various reasons. So our Christmas is tomorrow. So I've been dealing with Christmassy stuff at the same time that I'm dealing with, you know, getting in a really good groove. So I think the fact that I've been able to stay in that mindset this week has been amazing. I'm going to take that as my win.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia. Yeah, I mean, we find ourselves during the holiday, maybe getting, our attention pulled in different directions, but it's all about your non-negotiables and really prioritizing like this is a non-negotiable for me. Being an entrepreneur, it's December, I'm locked in and just, put it on the calendar, 15, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Like this is how I started my writing journey on X and LinkedIn like, over 2 years ago. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write for 15 to 30 minutes a day. I'm going to put it on my calendar. And everything else is a distraction. And I am just going to focus on writing every single day. And once you do that, you just stay consistent, right? It's a small and here's really the recipe for success. It's really ordinary things consistently done over time will produce extraordinary results. Let me repeat that. Ordinary things consistently done over time will produce extraordinary results. You stick to something for let alone 30 days, right? If you stick to something for 6 months and really lock in, like your life will change. You do that for a year, you're a completely new person. You do that for 5 years, now it's like you're unstoppable and your bank account is fuller and all these things. Like that's literally what happens when you lock in and you commit. So and yeah, the behaviors and the actions even around the holidays, right? Uh, just make sure you're staying locked in. You're keeping that on your calendar. Life happens, but again, these are our non-negotiables, right? Like I don't negotiate on my own success. No one is going to be more obsessed with your success than you, right? Than you.
And for one example, and this is just a byproduct of what I've done for the last 14 years, everybody in my family, whether they like it or not, knows that at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK, on Christmas Day, my ass is planted in front of BBC America or the Royal YouTube channel because I'm gonna watch the Queen's speech, the King's speech, and I'm gonna do that reporting. And I'm sorry, you gotta give me that 20 minutes and then I'll be back to Christmas stuff. That's fine. But, you know, that is the 20 minutes I take that day. That is all I do that day. But it's, you know, yeah, it's non-negotiable, right? Even on Christmas, you find some way to take a few minutes to do something, the smallest thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Patricia, for sharing the wins. And yeah, keep up the great work that you're doing. It's all about, being disciplined, consistency, that's half the battle there, and just doing the action, right? Doing the action. And welcome, Vladimir. Good to see you, brother. Happy Friday. If you guys aren't following Vladimir, make sure you do. Just an ex-legend here, always, doing big things. If you think about big things, Vladimir is like a model for that. So thanks for being here, Vladimir. Happy Friday, man. So yeah, let's jump over to, thank you, Patricia. We're gonna jump over to Will now, and then we're gonna go to Famous and Danielle, and I would love to hear from Jim and Jason as well for your guys' wins for the week. So, okay. All right. Uh, Will, over to you.
Thanks, Justin. Hey, just a quick mic check. I'm on the mobile, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me okay.
Yeah, all good.
Amazing. Man, I've already got some thoughts. I've already got some thoughts here, Justin. And I'm glad I caught the space from the beginning, but it was weird to come into my own voice playing. But here we go with my wins for the week. We've had loads. First of all, though, the one that I want to share with everyone the most is how the Unshakable Ronins project is going for December. We are 19 days in, and we have 100% completion rates across the entire premium operators. It is exactly what I expected, but it is unprecedented in the wider world. And I did the research on this last week. 1 to 3% of unsupported people make it 14 days. That drops precipitously when you look at 3 weeks. And yet, we have 19 days of complete coherence. No missed days, no 0 days. That's a win for my record books, but it's also a win for every single one of those Ronins as well, those members of Unshakable Entrepreneurs. So Trish is there. We got Brandon down there. We've got so many amazing people not missing a day, building that momentum going into 2026. So for the replay as well, I also want to give Trishad a massive shout out. He's gone through some absolutely incredible progress. Okay, that's the wider win. My personal wins for this week. I hosted Jason and I on the stage did a thing on the weekend together, which was amazing. Excellent learning experience and very productive as well. The school community has increased. We're currently at 36% over my goal for the year. We're at 136 members. And we are currently ranked 19 in discovery in our category. So first page. That's a pretty big win. And yeah, I mean, I've just got to say that I'm finally doing exactly what I wanted to do. And the alignment is everything. So that's what I'm saying. But I wanted to speak to something else you said, Justin, and then I'll yield the mic. You mentioned extraordinary. And I really want to just talk about that word for a second because it means extraordinary. You will not be ordinary by default, right? You pursue an extraordinary life. And this is something that happened to me this week, perceived as a loss, but I perceive it as a win. I got on a call with someone, explain what I do, and they just didn't get it. And I had to remind myself, 19 out of every 20 people will not understand because 95% of people do not succeed. It's a harsh stat, but if you want to be extraordinary, you are by definition extraordinary. And if, to the point you made earlier, if information was all it took, then everyone with access to that information would be successful. And yet, 19 out of 20 are not. The difference is consistency. So I'll leave it with that. Back to you, Justin.
Man, Will, some big, that's big. Will, that's big. And I shared with you on the back channel some tips about, the accomplishments of the school community that you're running and some ideas to help better leverage that. And yeah, man, big congrats on the success there. And that's huge, man. That's a big win right there. And yeah, like, look, so not everyone is going to get what you do, right? Like, I don't typically talk business with my dad too much, right? Like, my wife, she doesn't really, is it money coming in? Okay, great. Like we don't really talk too much about. So it's like you got to be very selective on and pick up on, especially when you're talking to prospects. Look, is this person going to be a good fit for the community, right? For what you're building, right? You want to vet it out. You want to vet people out because it's really important. Like if you have And there's a standard, like, we've been talking about it for over a month now. Like, there's a certain standard that Will has for the community. There's a certain standard of the Ronin community, right? Like when you join the ranks, right? There's a certain standard. And so, some people aren't going to get it, and that's fine. Like you're not for everybody. You're not for everybody. But the people that you are for, as long as you see commitment and the daily actions, there's a high likelihood they're going to be successful. They're going to, they're going to meet the outcome that they're looking for. So yeah, good stuff. We'll keep up the great work. And yeah, we got our Ronin call today, our mastermind call. So excited to have people on the call today. So check the DM or your email, and really looking forward to that Zoom call. So all right, thank you, Will. Okay, let's jump over to Famous and for wins of the week. Famous brother, how's it going? Happy Friday, man.
Thanks very much, Justin. Happy Friday to you, Andy, Timo, everybody. I would say that my win of the week, I, I, I had to quote somebody else because somebody put in words something I hadn't thought about. But I have just completed a year in which I spent 1/7 of my year live on the mic doing my 24-hour marathons every week. That's my win.
Man, Famous, I know you don't like accolades, but man, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for this platform, for people, for humanity, and just modeling the way because, you give people an opportunity to. And you get all different facets with Famous's 24-hour spaces. You get comedy, you get music, you get the arts, you get business, you get everything, right? I mean, there's no better space, 24-hour space in the world than Famous's space. And, make sure you guys support Famous. I support Famous when I can, and I encourage everyone else to do that. Uh, just as it's just like throwing him a tip, right? Like, hey, thank you, Famous. Here's some tip money, buy some coffee. Like, keep him fueled, right? So keep him fueled. And so, yeah, just, thank you for creating a space for humanity. And yeah, you have so many great people. Uh, your vibe affects your tribe, and you have so many great people that you align with. And yeah, like, and he doesn't take any BS, guys. Like, let me tell you, like, he doesn't take any BS, and I like that. I like that because you got to protect your space, you got to protect the energy, and he does a great job at masterfully handling that. So and navigating that. That's a skill. That is an art and a skill to be able to do that at that level. And he doesn't even pass the mic to someone else. He's on the mic for 24 hours. So yeah, hat tip to you, Famous. Any follow-ups before Timo wanted to jump in, but any follow-ups? Just a big thank you to you for your support throughout the year and everybody else who has supported. Andy, I won't go through all the list, but yes, thank you for your support, people. Because I gotta tell you, this is the most grueling, demanding year I've ever had in my life. And nobody's making me do it. This is my choice. It has also been the most rewarding and enriching because of you people. It has been, I can't even begin to digest all the good that has flowed into my life. So big shout out to everybody. Because yeah, okay, I had it confirmed this week also. Somebody did something I've always been asking for. They confirmed through Grok that there's one human being on planet Earth doing weekly 24-hour marathons. We're not talking about teams, people, and somebody sleeps and somebody else hosts and they do the 24 or 72 or I don't care how many hours. That's not the same thing. So thank you all because it would have been one weird ride talking to myself for 24 hours once a week, every week. Thank you all for coming by and supporting. That's it. I'll land. Thanks. Have a great week and a great weekend, everybody. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, thanks for tapping in, Famous. Always great to check in with you, man. And yeah, you'll receive the honorary Ronin Award here. I know you don't like it, but you're gonna get the honorary Ronin Award for doing 1 year of 24-hour spaces, man. So I'll share something with you on the timeline, but congrats again. Big accomplishment, big model for success. And yeah, man, just a big fan of what you're doing. It really aligns with the brand and appreciate your friendship. And yeah, man, just yeah, guys, make sure you guys are following Famous. Just one of the greats here on this platform. So thank you. All right, Timo, over to you, man, and then we're gonna go to Danielle and Jim and Jason.
Yeah, it's quite magical, famous that you started last Christmas. You announced your space like a week earlier or something. You started talking about it on any space that you went to, and now it falls on the exact day that you usually hold your spaces. So nicely done, well done, sir, and congrats on the huge achievement. Thanks very much, Timo.
Amazing. Yeah, guys, and oh, go ahead, Timo.
Yeah, I can bet you might have like the most stories of living through the circus that is X, and people checking in when they wake up, and checking out when they go to bed and fall asleep on your space and whatever. So you could probably write a book about what all the events and the weird songs and sing-alongs you hold there. So kudos to you. Thanks, man. Yeah, I already have books ready to publish. I've finished manuscripts ready to go, but this might be one that if if I ever get enough sleep, I think I would really enjoy sharing some of my experience in those 12 months. I couldn't possibly list every single event. Just what has impacted me the most. That might be a fun side project in the coming year, because yeah, you're right. Have I ever seen an amazingly wide slice of humanity in all conditions, all around the world, all states of mind? Oof, yeah. I'll land with that. I've seen a lot, of course. I've seen a lot, yeah, and it's been aggravating at times, rewarding, funny, sad. We've had laughter, tears, and yet, Justin, about running a tight ship. Nonsense that people would have got away with when I was brand new and green, not happening now anymore. I know the vibe that people come, that they enjoy, that they want to tap into, and I'm ferocious in protecting that vibe. The disruptors and the trolls and the nonsense and the arguers, and no, 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 no. I'm a tiger in protecting the vibe. So thanks. I'll land there.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and it's kid friendly too, guys, because even, people listen in with their family, so it's a family show. So yeah, thank you for that, Famous, and thanks creating that environment, where, positivity, light, storytelling, entertainment, music. I mean, you get everything. Like it's really one of the most well-rounded spaces you can think of is Famous's space, man. So amazing stuff. Okay, let's jump over real quickly. And I want to welcome Yvonne to the stage. Guys, Yvonne is a new Ronin, guys. Yvonne just became an official new Ronin. So let's clap that up. Oh my goodness. Yvonne, thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. So excited to have you on board in the Ronin community. It's official, guys. Yeah, we're not. It's male and female, guys. We don't discriminate. We're Ronins. That's it, guys. We're Ronins. So we got powerful women. We got boss women making big boss women moves like Yvonne. And so yeah, so good to have you in the ranks here, Yvonne. Thank you so much. Let's go right over to Yvonne because I want to just, ask her, what made her decide to pull the trigger and sign up. I would really appreciate that feedback. But yeah, happy Friday, Yvonne. Welcome.
Yeah, happy Friday. Um, well, the time was right, right? I know you have been talking about it for such a long period of time and stuff, but for me, like I just love these morning spaces so much. So I wanted to support you and like fully getting into the flow, having been off X for a while for personal reasons and family stuff and everything. And then I was like, I got to ramp myself up. And I mean, I was going to do that by myself because sometimes you got to do that. But it is so much like you even have on the Ronin thing, right? If you want to go fast, or if you want to go, what is it? If you want to go fast, go it alone. But if you want to go far, go it together. And that's so true. And I'm always talking about accountability and having like a team of entrepreneurs or people around you that are as driven as you are. And because you need that momentum, especially when you have the high, you have the highs, but when you have the lows, like you bounce that off of each other. And like we were talking about in the space yesterday, that energy is infectious, right? And who you surround yourself says a lot about who you are. And I know that from personal experience. And I was just like, I don't want to do it alone. So even though I'm building my business alone, but let's just say prayed a lot and stuff just to kind of like re-solidify my goals. And 2026 is the freaking year. And I need that team of people around me who are as driven to create something amazing with their business the way that I am, because it's so important who you surround yourself with those things. And so since I was doing it, and then I had been responding to a couple of your posts, and this is the power of, following up marketing, right? Because then you had shared underneath there, you should join the Ronin community. I think you'd be a great asset. And I think it was like a week or so ago that you put that in there. So I bookmarked it. And yeah, and I knew that I was going to do it after you did it. But see, that's the importance of continuing to reshare things. Like that's literally the importance of following up. And as you know, like email marketing and stuff like that, you keep sending these things to people over and over, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not getting a response or getting a return. And sometimes it's just not the right time. But that doesn't mean that they won't be a customer later. That doesn't mean that they won't be part of the journey later, which is why it's important to continue to do those follow-ups and stuff. And even though you said it in the space, you just dropping that like reminded me. And then in that moment, I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. Like I need to be around, fellow Revenue Ronins. Because that's my mission this year. Why go at it alone, you guys? It's so much more fun when you're growing something amazing like this with a team of people who are also growing something amazing. So you all rise together. So it had to happen. And to support you, because I'm just so grateful to you for these spaces. Like I feel like, even if it's $20 or $10 or $5, sending, like I love saying thank you, but for me, when people do that with money, it really means a lot, because it really shows that they really mean it instead of just a bunch of fluff.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yvonne. Yeah, wow. Really appreciate the kind words. And yeah, 2026 guys is what it's all about, and having Yvonne on board, it just it means a lot to me because you've been somebody I've been a big fan of on this platform for a long time, and yeah, like 2026, I'm super excited and pumped. And so thank you, Yvonne, for investing in yourself, investing in yourself, and you're going to get a lot of value, and I'm going to be throwing some bonuses your way. Don't worry. Don't worry. So and yeah, to Yvonne's point too, it's like, look, people are gonna, it's three things, right? It's got to be the right timing. They got to, see the value and have the budget, and then, they got to be the decision maker, right? So those three things, and once you have those three things line up, everything's good to go, and people are gonna buy and invest when they're ready. Right. And it's our job as sales and marketing people to just follow up, right? Follow up and use the keyword follow up, right? Just, hey, I just wanted to follow up and see, and when they're ready, and they'll tell you, hey, you know what, Justin, keep following up with me next month. I think maybe next month may be good timing for us, right? So you just got to do this. This is just, business 101. So yeah, thank you again, Yvonne. I'll be sending you some onboarding stuff on the back channel and really appreciate it. And yeah, any wins for the week you want to share before we go over to Will and Danielle and Jim? Any wins you want to share for the week? I know you've been working on your funnel. I've been seeing the progress there. It's been great. But yeah, any other wins you want to share, Yvonne?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited excited about my funnel, and I put that out there, showed that to you guys. It's really important too. That's what's great about having accountability. And again, I just want to give a shout out to Will too with his community. I've already recommended your community to a couple other of my friends who are like, oh, I need to do this, or it's time for me to make this change in my life. And I'm like, dude, you got to join this community. It's totally freaking free. Like, there's so much value in there. There really is something about having other people around you that you're showing up for. And even though like some of the results that I do are obviously for my business, right? But putting that stuff out there, posting that and sharing it, because I keep that stuff pretty private, even like with my products that I built, just putting it out there, you guys, and I know Will's probably going to double down on this, but it makes it more real. It's not just something in your head. People are seeing what you're doing. And by you doing that, it's further solidifying, no, I mean business. I'm not just talking talk, I'm walking the walk. And so even just posting that. So I worked on my funnel. I'm almost done designing that. I didn't get to finish yesterday because I ended up crashing. I was going to work on my newsletter yesterday. I was like, I got to get one of these out. And then I ended up getting tired because I was up till like 2 o'clock in the morning. I only had a couple hours of sleep. So you got to take care of the vessel. But then I really excited because just getting in the momentum. So I started building my bunch of products on my website and had a bunch of those, like doing the designing of the covers and basically what's going to go on the website, added all of that stuff on there, and then put all the product descriptions, the pricing, then website designing. Sometimes this stuff takes time, right? Designing my shop basically, because you have the templates on Wix and stuff, but you have to go in and make sure you put in your branding on that stuff. So I had to go in and kind of re-customize that whole shop experience because it was the first time adding an actual shop to my website with doing that. So got that set up. Also got my payment stuff set up with Square, which, by the way, I know a lot of people use Stripe, but I freaking love Square, you guys. That's like another geeky entrepreneur conversation, but they're absolutely amazing. And basically had all the pricing, finished all the design, even with the cart and return to cart, all those kind of little things, those little details, man, they matter and it takes time. So got all that stuff done and linked all that stuff up, and then actually tested out a couple of purchases because it's so important. You add all this stuff on there, but then you got to test it to make sure all of the links are working properly, because that's how you look professional, and you got to be meticulous about that. I am very meticulous, and that's another reason why accountability and having a team of people is so important, because even though I'm like very methodical with those things, it really is sometimes you need a friend or someone else or a colleague to look at that stuff because they might see something that you missed, right? Strength in numbers with that. So I got that all set up. I also signed up for the partner program in Beehive. And then I kind of went down a research rabbit hole, but it's important. And then also checked out their referral program and just different ways. And then also their Boost Marketplace, which are all the different ways that are incentives on Beehive of ways that you can earn money for your newsletter. And I'll just land with this because working with AI and basically brainstorming on whether I wanted to have my newsletter directly on my website, and I have that through Wix. And I decided to go with Beehive and basically integrate that into my website, because if I have it directly on my website, then I'm having to pay for all of that traffic that's coming to my website. Now, that's out of obviously social media posting. But what's great about Beehive, and the reason I have it on there instead of just integrating it directly on my website, is because there's additional ways, not only for revenue streams by having it on Beehive and linking it up to my website, but it's also a way where you can have more discoverability and not pay as much. Like if I were just going to do Google ads or Bing ads and things like that, I'm sure you could speak to that, Justin. So basically having multiple different revenue streams. Anyway, so I signed up for that and got that approved. And today I have to, excuse me, sorry, I'm like going 1,000 miles a minute. I have to basically make sure that I do my newsletter because I haven't done that in a minute. So I'm creating the habit of doing at least 2 of those a week now and stepping into consistency, because I'm kind of like, I go all in and everything, but then I burn out. So now my new thing for 2026, follow through to completion and be consistent and get excited about that instead of just the rush that comes when you're first doing something. So getting excited about the consistency and the following through. So it's like my new reward system. I had to pivot that a little bit. So yeah, that's what's up.
Man, Yvonne, you're on fire. You're on fire, Yvonne. You gave like a little mini masterclass on, Wix and Beehive and integrating and building. So yeah, wow. It's incredible to see your progress in the last, few weeks, Yvonne. Like, man, that's incredible. So keep up the great work, Yvonne. Like, we're here to support you as always. And yeah, you're making the right moves. And there is some. And I'm on Beehive too, and guys, like I've used probably, and I posted in the purple pill here just for some perspective. So I did a look over the shoulder of like how easy it is to use Beehive to do my newsletter, and I've used all the platforms like Mailchimp, HubSpot, Salesforce. I mean, you name it, I've used it. And Beehive is one of those that really help you grow quicker and monetize for creators, which is it really differentiates itself as a platform. And so, yeah, definitely check out Beehive and you can integrate it with your website, with your Wix, wherever. And Timo's the master on the back end. He's very technical. He helps support me and my VA. They help support me as well. And yeah, like, it's all about, having a small and nimble team to help some of the tech stuff that you may not be comfortable with, or you just roll up the sleeves and do it. And everything is figure outable, as Yvonne really demonstrated. She figures it out, right? She doesn't let you don't let anything stop you, right? You just go all in, commit, and everything is figure outable. That's the attitude you want to have. That's the attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. And as long as you're positive and saying, "Hey, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to figure this out." You do it. So yeah, keep up the great work, Yvonne. Make sure you DM me a link to your Beehive. I want to make sure I subscribe to your newsletter as well. And guys, check out the post that I just shared. The building with Beehive. It's a quick, uh, I'd say it's a mini masterclass on email marketing and how I use Beehive, and you'll see a lot of pro tips there as well. So definitely check it out. Okay, let's go to Will, and then we'll go to Timo. All right, Will, over to you, brother.
Thanks, Justin. I have so many things to add, but I'll keep it super brief. This is going back to what Famous was saying. And I want to just double down on this because if you're building a community, standards, the standards of the community is the product. That is what I've learned over the last couple of months. I built a community last year, failed because I didn't enforce the standards. The reason that this community I'm building now is so successful is because of the standards. That is the product. And we've got the proof, 100% completion rate for our paid members. And that's what they're paying for, is the standard. And they get a bunch of other stuff too, but the standard is the thing. So if you're thinking about a community, think about that. I wanted to say to Yvonne as well, the inputs versus outputs, right? So we only control the inputs, and you expressed this perfectly. That's what's in our control. So if we learn to love the doing, the input, and we make that the victory for the day, the output is a compounding, right? The output is the effect, but the input is the cause, who we are being and what we are doing. And I wanted to just add this very, very quickly about why public action is so much more. It's like 100 times more powerful than intention, because when it's kept in your head, there is no actual threat to the old self. You don't have to change. You can just think about it. But when it's visible, you have some very interesting biological changes. Your threat detection actually goes up and the authority consolidates on the back of it. So I say to people, I don't offer you accountability. I don't offer you motivation. I offer you identity, authority, stable identity. That is the product, right? It's a step beyond accountability, because accountability can be like looking over your shoulder. Did you do your homework or not? And if you didn't, you're in, timeout or whatever. Identity, stability. This is who I am. And we had some great shares earlier on. Trish was sharing, and a few others were as well. Because this is who I am now acting in the way I wanted to act. And it's because of congruence. So when you do something in public, your brain is going to take it seriously. You're not telling yourself, this is what I will do, which is open to interpretation. You only say, this is what happened, here's the proof. It's undeniable. That is why it's so powerful. And this is why, going back to what I said earlier, 95% of people just don't succeed because they keep it in their head as a question. Will I do this? We don't allow that. The standard is show me what you did. So getting a bit heated there because consistency is everything. It doesn't matter who you are one day. It matters who you are every day. So back to you, Justin.
Yeah, good stuff, Will. I'll just add on that. So during the onboarding process for the Ronin community, which I had to do it into a video onboarding now because of, time constraints. But, I share a principle that, we're all aligned on, and you have to really agree to this standard is we have two modes of operation, right? So there's wizard mode and there's warrior mode. That's it. There's only two modes of operation, right? So wizard mode is, it's ebb and flow. It's, adapting to the situation, being very fluid, right? That's one mode of operation. The other operation mode is warrior mode. That is whatever it takes ethically. There's no excuses. There's no reasons. It's whatever it takes. That's the standard, right? So you have wizard mode or warrior mode. So when I say, "Hey Andy, I'm in warrior mode right now," he knows, okay, Justin's okay, he's focused, he's locked in, he's gonna accomplish what he set out to do, and that's it. There's no gray area. Okay? There's no either you're gonna close the deal or you're not, right? So that's the standard, and that's how we operate, right? Wizard mode or warrior mode. There's only two modes. There's no gray area. And ethically, of course, right? So, but yeah, just wanted to put that out there. That's what it's about, guys. That's what it's about. It's really stepping into who you're being and doing the action, and you don't let anything stop you. And building in public. Let me highlight something there. So, and Will can back me up on the science here, but if you notice, there's a big trend of people that are building in public. They develop, a following, a cult following, because people resonate with, their situation. And I see it more on TikTok and stuff lately that, people are getting laid off at their jobs and they're like crying on TikTok videos like, "Oh my gosh, I got laid off," right? And, I feel for them. I'm sorry, that happened. But this is why being a Ronin slash an entrepreneur and a forced entrepreneur may become a reality for them. Because here's the thing, okay? Unless you have your head in the sand, AI is, taking over a lot of things. Big companies are laying off. So, like, nobody's safe right now. You are literally, if you have a full-time job, I applaud you. Keep it as long as you can. And I hope you stay there for many years. But the reality is, a lot of people are getting laid off. And you better master sales and marketing as skills. Why? Because those are what's going to put money in your bank account. Sales and marketing. Okay. So yeah, that's just the reality. Like forced entrepreneurship is a trend. I see it personally in my network. Buddies I have master's degrees, can't get a job. Okay. And so forced entrepreneurship is going to continue to be a trend. And that's why you got to build your own thing. And it starts with building your email list, building your high income skills. And, people buy from people. Don't forget that. AI may be here, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And so, AI is not buying stuff, people are buying stuff. So, so yeah, good stuff. Let's go over to Timo, and then oh, Jason's not here anymore. Shoot, okay, I want to hear from Jason. And then we'll go to Danielle. But yeah, Timo, over to you.
Yeah, nice to hear, Yvonne. You're building. Interesting to hear. I would love to hear about what's going on with Wix. I think they're bringing a lot of AI tools for the no code, low code people who like to do stuff like that. And Yeah, a couple of short wins. The 90 days, as you, Justin, love to work on things, is coming to a close. 2 more weeks to go after tomorrow's newsletter. 12 weeks, pretty much 90 days, full of kind of pivoted on the newsletter articles and the content there. It's been successful so far. Now it's time to evaluate and look at the data, see what's happening, see what is working, what is not, and so on and so on. That's why Beehive is amazing, because it brings you a lot of analytics. I'm also seeing more organic traffic from Bing and Google at the moment on the newsletter. So having more than close to or more than 150 articles out there is helping. Also to Yvonne, remember, even though you just built a cool shop for products on your website, remember that Beehive also offers digital product sales with a 0% commission. So depending on how your store works, there is an option. Obviously, they use Stripe, so they take that small percentage, but it's really easy to set up too. So you can have them both places basically. And if you use those products on Beehive and you link them up to your newsletter, you basically just get a very simple buy button on your right directly into that product in your newsletter. So it's a great little addition that they did. And they just launched new automation. So I have some stuff to build for Andy. I'm still lagging a bit. I've been super busy at work. I apologize to anyone who is still lagging on. I'm going to do some updates to Justin's website, back-end stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff. Luckily, 9 to 5 is now over until 2026. So now I get to do all my backlog stuff and build those things up that I promised. So yeah, good stuff. Good to be here. Great space again, Justin, and let's keep the stuff going.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Timo. Yeah, let's jump over to Yvonne. And I use Square as well, Yvonne. So I use both Stripe and Square. So I can speak to that. So yeah, over to you, Yvonne, and then we'll go to Danielle.
Yeah, I think Danielle was next. Let's go to her and then we can come back to me because I was talking so much before.
Okay.
No, thanks. Justin just kept skipping me because I didn't have my hand raised. I asked for the mic, but he figures, okay, she did, but she's not available. So he was being polite. He wasn't ignoring me. And I couldn't have talked before now. I'm just so glad to be on. Normally I can't make Fridays. Justin knows that, but I switched my whole morning around. Not just for you, Justin, because truth be told, I'm going to probably pop into the mastermind for about 25 minutes. So, there you have it. It's been that kind of week where things have shifted. So, there's so much to take in. Okay, wins. A couple things happened this week, unexpected. A lot of my activity happens on LinkedIn because I've historically been tied to the conservative, corporate America. That's where I resided, and that's where I still circulate. So, us dorks are over there, and that's really where the majority of my business comes from. So, and that's where I post. I mean, X doesn't want to see my videos of certain things that I'm posting there. It's too long. It doesn't do as well. And so you see me posting less and less, not out of disinterest for X. I'm on X to be on these spaces, especially Justin's space. Love it. Don't want to ever miss it. The value of the community and the information sharing here is second to none. But on LinkedIn this week, it was really cool to see some activity in unexpected ways. Sure, when you attend something or you're presenting, people will, talk about you a little bit. But it's really cool, or at least for me, to get on and to see the validation when it's an unexpected post, and then they're talking about you or they're talking about your book. And it happened on the same day. I opened up the thing and I saw some woman sitting there with a bunch of her people and holding my book. I didn't even know they bought my book. I did not give them my book. The woman did attend a presentation of mine a month earlier, so it wasn't shocking. And then she was talking about my pivot method, and she was just talking about how valuable it is and that I'm the creator and she's using it for her team. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I mean, like, oh, so somebody actually is not only hearing me, but they're implementing what I'm putting out there. And that's huge, because what I'm doing today, I did not do for the past 30 years of my career. I mean, I'm relatively very new in this space. And then another woman got on and she mentioned my book. She listed 23 books that she said in 2025 were her big reads. People have to get them. And I'm on her list. I don't even know this lady. I was like, how did I get on her list? And I reach out and I'm like, I'm thinking, did we meet one time? Did I forget? And I'll always, here's a tip for you too, if you guys are on LinkedIn. If you connect with somebody in person or online, always message them after so that you can keep a running trail of how you knew them, when you knew them. That messaging box will act as a admin for you of sorts. So let's say I'm either in person with somebody or we've connected online. I'll be like, oh, it was great to meet you at, or, oh, I met you inside this breakout room in the blah, blah, blah meeting, just so that when I don't know who they are 3 months from now, I'm like, oh, that's how I know Sally or Ben or George or whoever. So anyway, I go into, I see we're connected, but I look in the message, it's blank. I'm like, okay, I don't know when she ever connected with me. And she admittedly said, like, you don't know me. She goes, but I was doing research, that's all she put it, and your book came up, and she said, so I got it online and I read it in 2 days. And she said, and I love it. And I'm like, well, will you tell Amazon that? No. But it was really cool to see, like, look at this. She's like naming people, like regular people, but also like Brene Brown and like all the names that you do know. And I'm on her list. And these things are, sure, they're ego boosts, but really what they are is their validation. And I think we all need that from time to time to say, with all the hard work we do, sometimes at the expense of revenue generating moments, because a lot of our work doesn't immediately give you revenue. Sure, the time I spent coaching, I'm getting paid. The time I spent speaking, I get paid. But this book writing, this newsletter writing, all this stuff, nobody's paying me at the moment I'm doing it. Those are hours well spent. They're investments in my, of my time, but they're not necessarily immediately revenue generating. Now, I'll jump over to newsletters. So one of the things that I'm doing as I move into 2026 is I'm getting extremely organized. That has not historically been my strong suit. I've never been an organized person. I go out there, I do my thing. I'm more like, my husband calls me Hurricane Danielle. I'm like, bam, bam, bam. I get things done, but I haven't been systematic. This community has really taught me the discipline of that. Now, along those lines, one of the things that I'm doing, and I mentioned it in the Purple Pill, and I did also text a few folks on here, hey, you're going to see that I'm unsubscribing to your newsletters. And I'm not going to stay off it. I'm just going to move this to my personal Gmail, because what's happening is a lot of the newsletters I subscribe to, even outside of the X world, that I want to know about, are really crowding my workspace. And as my Unscripted Pivot business has taken off, I am missing important notifications from new contacts. They don't look like they're important because they're new reach outs. And so that's a bit of a screw up, right? Because I'm just flooded with stuff. I've moved my entire world over to Unscripted Pivots, and that I can see is a mistake. So here's the thing, right? We pivot. We look at what we try, what we think's going to work, and then we go, okay, no, not that. And that's a beautiful thing, is that when you get new information, that's just, it's not a change in vision, it's just a change in action. Now, Beehive, I think I signed up for it and I don't utilize it. And this is why. To Will's point, we have to know that we have to meet the standards of our community where they're at, right? Not necessarily where I'm at. The people that hire me and that I'm speaking to, for the most part, are, again, the conservative corporate industry. And they are not going to go for any of these infomercials that are tied into Beehive. So my newsletters, which admittedly have kind of fallen off, it was weekly and it was bi-weekly, I'm still figuring that out. They wouldn't survive that, because the people that I've been reaching really aren't, they're not utilizing the tools that Beehive is promoting and setting forth, of which are extremely valuable to entrepreneurs and people that are running their own business, for sure. Most of the people I serve, they own companies, but they don't own their businesses. They would have people do things that Beehive is offering or telling them about. They're not doing these creative AI tools in the same way. They've got their teams doing that. So that's kind of why I haven't done it. One of the new tactics I am going to do, I'm mimicking the people that I serve, right? And what I see some of the very successful folks in that regard is they are doing newsletters in Substack. And that's where they get their organic reach beyond their email list. And then they're posting it as articles on LinkedIn with the reference to Substack. So they'll put 75% of the article on LinkedIn. Now that conservative corporate community, and I know LinkedIn is not just corporate, I'm just telling you my world of it. And then they see that they're also on Substack, where they go deeper and they can be more creative, kind of like you would be in, on X, right? Substack is definitely a little bit more lenient in what they want to hear and what I don't want to say tolerate, but that is the truth of the matter. So I'm going to do that, but I also want to make sure that, Andy had said early on, not in this year, but a couple months ago, don't forget blogging, because blogging also is a reach. So you'll see me, in 2026, kind of changing that up a little bit. I love that everybody's talking about Stripe and Square. I am struggling with how to capture all these things in a seamless manner. I get paid so many different ways, and it's very clunky. I know I started a Square and a Stripe, and I honestly haven't tapped into it. I haven't figured out how that looks. People pay me by Zelle, they pay me by Venmo, they pay me by check, they pay me credit card, and then you get hit with fees. And, some of these things I get paid for are thousands of dollars. That's a heavy miss when I have to pay for that fee to look like, oh, okay, I'm not going to penalize you 3.25%, right? But nor do I want to be, absorbing $250 out of the fee that you're paying me. So I'm still in the early stages of figuring that out. And these clients are just like, what their preference is. You got to meet these people where they're at. But I've got to do a better job of how that's going to happen where it doesn't impale me. Okay. And I hate getting checks in the mail. There's only 2 clients that do that. But there's also the reminders, and they want W-9s. I mean, it's corporate America, so it's structured. It's just buttoned up. It is what it is. I don't want to complain. But, I've also learned the power of the no. I've been declining opportunities when I've been carefully weighing them out. You got to make columns. For me, it was always like, oh, they want me, I am coming. And now it's like, what does that mean? What, not to be selfish, but what am I getting out of it? What am I not paying attention to if I say yes to this opportunity? And that becomes really, really important. And I'm trying to be very disciplined about that, because everything looks shiny and exciting and it looks very promotional for me. And then I have to realize, what is it going to cost? And so going into 2026, because of this community, the things I've absorbed from you guys, I'm recognizing the importance of that discipline and being strategic. And when I hear Will talking about school, and sure, I've heard of school. I know a little bit of it. I'm not part of anybody's programs in school, but I love that I get to keep hearing about this, because maybe that's where I'll morph in my community into. Right now, it's like a Zoom community and it's an in-person community. But, to everybody's point here, sometimes we hear things and we have to hear them on repeat. And it's not that you ignore them, but you take them in and you apply them as they suit your business when you are actually having the capacity to do so. So it's such a beautiful thing. I love the diversity of our approaches. And it's not that we're not in alignment. We're just broad. And it is so incredible that we get to do that here. So Justin, always a supporter of you, even though I'm on X a little bit less and I may not get to every mastermind. I am 110% still committed to your success, our journey, and what you bring to the table. So that's what I want to share. Thanks. Hey, Danielle, you can use Beehive to publish to the web. So it has a homepage as a blog. And then you can send emails, and you can send them and not publish them to the web, but you can also do both. So that's just one free tool that you can use, or free tool for a smaller number of subscribers that you can use to do both. You don't have to figure out a different way to do it. There's a tool you can do for both of them. And you don't need to have ads. No need to have ads. They're just bonus if you like them. I put it through Squarespace, which is where my website resides. And again, because I can only handle so much at this early stage of this company. I love what they do, and all my assets are on my website, right? So all the pictures you save, all the things that you do, and I like the running list of it. And also the analytics on Squarespace are amazing. I can see exactly who and when, clicked on every single thing, like what time of day, and then what they clicked on within my my newsletter, right? So, how long they stayed. I mean, the analytics there are very, very strong. So I haven't felt the need to depart from that. But yeah, I think I do have a beehive. I also have Buy Me a Coffee. I got a lot of different things that aren't published, right? Like they're not put out there, but I'm listening to what everybody's doing. And as they make their way into my world, that'll be great. So sometimes it's like baby steps, but the Squarespace thing for me right now, it's just not broken. And I like that it's all parked in one spot, and I love their analytical breakdown. I almost feel guilty, guys. Like I feel like I'm spying on these people because you can see like, oh, 249. Alice opened that. Oh, she also checked your link to your like clarity call. Oh, she also, there's so much things in there. Okay, call Alice, see how she's doing. I don't even have to tell her I looked at that. Of course I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, hey, Alice, how are you? By the way, I wrote this newsletter. Oh, you did read it? Oh, okay. Like that conversation. So I've got kind of everything that I need there. And so until something is irritating me, I probably won't shift. But I love the information that is given by Beehive. I like to be aware of apps that will streamline my business as a small entrepreneur. This stuff is important. So, keep it coming.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. So I just want to, great share, by the way. I just want to expand on a couple of good points that you made. So keep in mind, guys, you always want to start with people, process, and then systems. Okay, people, process, and then systems. Now, I have the luxury of having a VA and Timo, you know, and Danielle, I think, also has her daughter that helps out on occasion with some things, right? So as you continue to grow, it's important to start with people, process, and then systems. That's number one. So a couple other takeaways. You mentioned like your book is being known for the proven system, framework, and method the pivot method, right? So if every one of us should have a method or a framework that we're known for, right? I know John Carlos has his. I know I have mine. Danielle has the pivot method, right? So it's like, what is your go to, not just your persona, but what is the framework or the method or the system that you're known for? Because then what's going to happen, as Danielle hit on, is people are going to become observant and engulfed with your information, and they're going to talk about it and they're going to share about it. And that's just going to happen organically. And yeah, that will lead to revenue indirectly. Okay, that will lead to revenue indirectly. Not maybe directly, but indirectly, that will lead to revenue. So there's correlations and indirect correlations. I won't go down a whole path, but the point is now that Danielle's known for the pivot method, other people are gonna talk about it, read the book, and then, they'll experience it themselves. And so that's validation and acknowledgement that her stuff is working. It's working. It's been validated, right? So that's big. And then the other thing is behavior and interest. Okay, you need to pay attention to behaviors and the interest. And these are all indicators that you're talking about with the, hey, this person opened this and all that stuff. So pay attention to people's behaviors and their interest. And that comes with data and how they're acting. And it's a very systematical and methodical approach. And then as far as the notifications thing, yeah, like you're not screwing up, you're just adapting to a new level of growth. You're adapting to a new level of growth. We're not screwing up here. No one's screwing up. We're adapting to a new level of growth. And we're meeting people where they're at. We're giving them other opportunities to pay us, right? I even got a check in the mail last week. I had to wait extra, but it was like I'm not going to pay those fees, right? So you have to adapt. And then do a cost benefit analysis, right? So there's a cost to doing, operations, right? So it's like, hey, do I pay somebody to do this for me or do I do it myself? So you got to weigh that option for yourself. Sometimes it makes more sense to just invest and having, like for me, I invest in Timo to help me out with stuff, right? Because it's better use of my time to make sure I'm staying in my lane to what I need to do on the client fulfillment side and then messing with Beehive workflows. Okay, so ask yourself and do a quick cost benefit analysis. And then what are you saying no to? Yes, so the as you scale, as you grow, you're going to have to start saying no to a lot more things. So just get comfortable with saying no. right? You're protecting your energy. You're in a new phase of growth. And so you have to be okay with that uncomfortability. I'm a yes man. I used to be, I mean, I'm a yes man. I want to help everyone. But the reality is we cannot help everyone. Okay, we cannot help everyone. So when you're hitting and experiencing your new level of growth, find out and take inventory. Okay, I'm gonna have to say no to these things. I'm gonna have to say no to these people. And that's just the reality. And just get comfortable with that. Because you're entering your new level of growth here, Danielle. And we all are at the same way at the same time. Like I'm gonna be hitting 25K a month starting in Q1 in the next year. Like by the end of Q1 next year, it's 25K a month. There's nothing below that. That is my commitment. That is that is my intention, and that is what I'm working after right now. And so, I'm gonna have to say no to a lot of different things. So prepare your mind now. And so, yeah, hopefully those are some good points. Any follow-ups, Danielle, before we go back to Yvonne?
Sorry, feeding my dogs. Yeah, I love everything you're saying. No, you know what? It's just we all have discipline within us, right? We always look for motivation, and motivation is so delicious. When I feel motivated, I'm like on fire. It seems easy, it seems seamless, but that's not really what makes us successful. You need discipline, and I'm just like really awakening, paying attention, and nurturing the discipline that it takes to take this whole business to the next level. I mean, the writing's on the wall. I've invested a lot of time, and now it's just about being disciplined and getting that book out because I'm known now as the WTF lady. I mean, remember in my world, I was Danielle, commercial real estate executive, doing title deals of large portfolios. I was known for commercial real estate only, and that started kind of to wane. Right, I wasn't doing as big deals towards the end, and it got clunky. And because I moved to California and impacted my business because I'm known in New York more than I am on the West Coast in the business sphere. And so now it's like, oh, she's talking about WTF. Like, what the hell is this, right? So the WTF lady, I never intended for this to stick the way it did, but so it did. So God has spoken as far as I'm concerned. The universe has blessed this. WTF is recognition of a curveball, of a problem. Well, okay, you got a problem. Now you acknowledge it. You can be clever. Oh, well, we're going to change it to wisdom through failure, worth the fear. But okay, that's nice. But what the hell are we going to do with it? This whole pivot thing, which is really the core of the WTF book, it's about pivoting, is now coming out in the second one. And the second book, really, I'm loving it. It's a fable, and I've never written a fictional story, but everything that's happening in the story is applying the pivot method and showing you its application. So that's why I'm really dialing down, working very hard to get this book done. It's in the second editing phase, so it's done, but now it's being perfected. And then it's got to be released. And that's a whole other thing. I believe you got to hire people. And it's not inexpensive the way I do it. I hire a designer for the inside, a designer for the outside. I pay people to read this, not just the beta readers, a guy who read WTF. And, these things you need to invest in because these people will really show you a spotlight because they've got the they've got the experience and the insight, and they're outside of your world. I believe very strongly in doing that. People that don't know you, because you'll see it with a clarity that's not attached to any history. And anytime that I've introduced those people into my world, I go next level. I just go next level. So we've got our inner circle, like we have it here, critical to our well-being, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of it. And then the outside hires and things like that. So it's layers. Pay attention to it and never ever do things in isolation because, like, Yvonne mentioned earlier, you want to go fast, do it alone. You want to go far, you do it in community.
Amen to that, Danielle. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us, Danielle. Always great to learn from you and get some wisdom from you. So thank you for being here and really looking forward to catching up on the mastermind call. Let's jump over to Yvonne and then we're going to start wrapping up here with final word, guys. So get ready for final word here. And again, thank you all of our listeners down below. I've been seeing the emojis and yeah, great to have you in this space, this energy. And yeah, this is, it's a bit of a working, as Wilk said, it's a bit of working sessions, for high performing operators, right? We get into a lot of different things, but this is how we stay operating at a high level, right? By being in these rooms right here. So, okay, Yvonne, over to you.
Oh my goodness, yes. I love you guys. Like, and I love what you said, Danielle, right? Like, so like we're all coming from so many different angles and stuff, and then sharing different things, like what Timo shared. Like, that's the beautiful thing about a great mastermind, you guys, because we can't all know it ourselves. We need other people. And it's so important because there's something that someone else might approach that's different than the way that I do it, right? And that's why more minds are better than one. But I wanted to mention a couple things. Well, one, I was going to say, like, when it comes time to like hiring people, I mean, I've done that before for sure, but like all this stuff I'm doing myself right now, but I'm doing it that way intentionally because I am very, I have high standards, just going to keep it real, y'all. Hollywood high standards, like for real. So I'm like building the foundation for stuff. But when it does come time to hire and start hiring people after I get the foundation built, that's when I'm really gonna like lean into this beautiful team of people here, right? Like ask you guys like particular things, like you were saying, Justin, and ask your advice and stuff like that. Because again, it's something that I could figure out myself, but why not tap into these beautiful brains in regards to that? I also wanted to mention, I'm just gonna add a little value here too. In regards to the payment system, I and this is just my recommendation, you guys. Like I also recommend doing having two payment systems. Like there's nothing wrong with having two, and I'm going to tell you why I say that. And I do know it is good to have things streamlined and have like everything in one particular source. But the reason that I'm saying that is because I know people from other businesses in the past who had, say, Stripe or PayPal or Square or something like that. And if you, this is just, I don't feel like it's important to not always put all your eggs in one basket. And the reason for that being is because I've known people in businesses who end up having, like, they have all their stuff with Stripe, and then sometimes their money can be frozen for different reasons or things like that. You know, maybe you have, $50,000 sitting there, and sometimes they will freeze that stuff. And then for whatever reason it may happen to be, but I've heard many stories about that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden you're not able to get your money out, right? It's kind of like having all your money in one bank. And I'll tell you right now, I learned that from that billionaire too, totally aside from processing payments. Like he had multiple different banks. He did not put all his money in one bank. He diversified with that, and there are reasons for that. But so that's one of the reasons why I think, because I'm going to be using Stripe and Square. Like in other words, like if I'm using Stripe on my Beehive, and you talked about this, Justin, there are multiple different revenue streams. Like Beehive might be one revenue stream for me, and that's one payment system that I use through Stripe through them, because I think that's the predominant one that they do. And then through my website, I'll be using Stripe because it'll be two different places to be able to have that money accumulate. But then also, if something happens with one particular account for whatever reason, there's a freeze or a block for like 2 weeks, and then say I need that $50,000 to be able to pay for some big project or an event or something like that that I'm going to do, well, then I'm going to need a be able to need those funds, and maybe I'm not able to get them. There's just so many little caveats to that stuff. So I just wanted to throw that. And then also the importance too, I'm just going to double down on this, the importance of building your personal brand, even though you're building your business, you guys. And again, this is just my viewpoint because of the whole Hollywood thing. Like there are actors in Hollywood, and that's what I'm modeling all my stuff after. There are actors in Hollywood that have their own personal brand, right? As them, as the actor or as the performer or whatever it may be. But that doesn't mean that they don't also have their own companies. Like Rihanna is a perfect example of that. The Rock is a perfect example of that. Like he has his own other company products, and the importance of keeping those things separate. And the reason I'm saying that is because on Beehive, I'm building my own personal brand. Like I have my own personal, even here on X, I have Yvonne Sayers, right? And I'm doing that with my personal brand, but I'm building my personal brand up while I'm also building my company. And I'm doing that intentional because my company has a completely different name than me. But let's say I end up selling off my company, right? Let's say I sell it for $2 billion. Let's just go big right now, right? Go big or go home, right? I end up selling it off for like $2 billion or something like that. Then I'm going to want to make sure that I'm building my personal brand in addition to that, because then maybe I end up wanting to start another company or something like that, right? But that's just my personal preference. I'm doing that because my personal name is also as important as my company name and how I'm building that. So I just wanted to share that. And it's a lot. It's not for everybody, right? But then I also wanted to share, and this is just like a total thing to, I'm a big dreamer, you guys. I mean, hello, moving to Hollywood from Louisiana, going via New York and all these other kind of things. And people in Hollywood have big dreams, but big things can happen. I figured out last night, and I'm sure like a lot of you guys do this, I was basically doing some equations. There are over 200,000 people that move to Hollywood every year that want to get into the entertainment industry in some particular form or fashion. And that's usually related to the people who want to become entertainers and performers and stuff like that. So I literally, just as a fun little thing for myself, because some of my products, I have multiple different price points for my products, but that's my primary target audience. And like one of my lowest pricing items is at $297. And when I was doing some of the research on Beehive, some of the people that started their newsletter on there, they ended up creating an incredible company and selling it for millions and millions of dollars. There's some excellent, which meanwhile, I need to post something about that probably, but I was reading some of that last night. So anything can freaking happen when you're doing something like that and building your brand on Beehive. But I basically did a minor calculation, right? Just a little dreaming, right? And I was like, okay, if I had 200,000 people that bought my lowest point priced product at $297, that's $59 million, y'all. And I'm here to tell you right now, I am so capable of doing something like that. I know that's a big thing to freaking say, but it's so possible. Not saying I'm going to do that in 1 year. Let's keep it real and keep it grounded. But I'm aiming for something like that because, again, that being my lowest point price. And I have prices that are much bigger than that with some of the packages that I sell. And that's only like a 1 year. And obviously, that's 100%. Usually, you only get like 3 or 6% rate of return on those types of people that do that. But I'm just saying, dream big. Things are incredible that are happening, and I am so grateful to be a part of this community and this team with the beginning of these things happening, because we're going to be people outside of X who are sitting on these big panels, like somebody like Elon Musk and people like that who are incredible, successful entrepreneurs, and we're going to be able to be an example and talk back about, oh, remember when we were on that space? Remember when I joined the Revenue Ronin? Remember when we were doing this thing and I joined Will's community? And I really like to do that. It's totally a Neville Goddard thing where you flash forward in the future and you say, I remember when we were just doing spaces and we were all just getting started with our businesses. And now, like, we're literally traveling the world, inspiring other entrepreneurs and other people to be the best version of themselves and to dream big and make things possible for themselves. So I will land there.
Let's go, Yvonne. Yes, I'm loving the energy, and it's a good reminder that look, your personal brand, you can license your personal brand, but you can't really sell it. Okay. So that's why you need a company, and that's why the Revenue Ronin brand, or I'm not sure of your company brand, Yvonne. What's the name of your company?
Yeah, it's called the Acting University.
The Acting University. Yeah. So it's like we need these companies that go alongside of us as we build, because the key is to have the option to sell in the future if we want, right? There's a book called Build to Sell or Built to Sell. Um, I don't know if it's Michael Gerber, or I forget who the author is, but it's like you want to have the option to sell your company in the future if you want. Or maybe it's a legacy play. Maybe you want to hand it down to, maybe I want my daughter to run the Revenue Ronin brand. I don't know. These are things you think about, because this is how you have to build. You have to build in a systematic way. Um, uh, Michael Michael Gerber's book. Andy, do you remember the name of Michael Gerber's book? It's like Built to Sell or something like that. Do you remember that book? Yeah, yeah. So there is a book I've read, I forget. But anyways, the point is like you're building a systematic business that can operate and function without you as the operator, right? So it starts with the brand, and then it's the systems and the people and the processes, and that runs without you. And you have the option to sell as a multiplier, right? Like Jim down below, LazyCanadian, the Fat Fire, or the Fat Fire Club. If he wants to sell that for a multiplier, he can do it. It's already proven. He's already got the systems in place, the tech. He's got the membership revenue. He's got the product. It's all productized. He's got the webinar model. He can sell that tomorrow if he wanted, right? That's the point. Is you already have a systemized business that functions with minimal inputs, that can function without you, and you have the option to sell if you want. That's the type of thinking you need to have. But it does start with personal brand. So before you come up with your company brand, you want to make sure you know who you are as a personal brand first, and then okay, what is the company I want to run alongside my personal brand? That's the way you do it, right? That's why the Revenue Ronin brand exists. That's why my former company, Perfect Integration, IT consulting company, I have my corporate name, my S Corp, Global E-Marketing Solutions Inc., right? It's like you got to have these structures in place because you want to have that option. That's the whole thing. And revenue is the key indicator here. Okay, revenue is the key indicator. And as Yvonne builds and sells her products and helping those people navigate her ICP, navigate the digital streets, it's going to be incredibly powerful, and they're going to need that navigation. They're going to need help with that. So there's always an audience. You just have to make sure you have the right message at the right time, resonating with the right people, and you want to reward action takers. And again, only 3% of people are ready to buy what you have right now. The other 97% of people need nurturing. They need ongoing nurturing and education and value. And then, they'll sign up when they're ready. So, oh, I see we have Jim on stage. Jim, are you going to be selling your company?
Oh, are we talking about selling? No, probably not. I think happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, Jim. I was just joking around with we were talking about the having the business as assets that you have the option to sell if you want, which is why, you got to have a company brand alongside your personal brand because, I can't sell Justin our French. I can license my personal brand. But I can sell and have the option to sell the Revenue Ronin brand in the future if I want, right? Just like with you and your, Fat Fire club, you have the option to sell that business if you want. It's not around your personal brand, it's its own brand. So that's what we're discussing. But any tips you want to share for everyone, Jim? It's great to have you on stage.
Oh, hi. Yeah, thanks, Justin. That's interesting. I never thought of it that way. I'm just doing it for, it's like a game. So I'm just sort of learning as well as I go. So for me, those who don't know, I'm 53 and I've been an investor for 30 years. So I've made millions in the stock market, millions in real estate, and now I've turned my attention to social media for the last 4 years and built up the business from zero a month to 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month. So now we're at $30,000 a month in revenue. I just finished a course by a creator who makes about a little over $2 million a year. So I had to learn a lot of stuff that I was doing wrong and things that I was doing right that I could do better. So, and I'm sure once I get to $1 million a year, I'll have to, which is 85,000 a month. I'll probably need to take another course to figure out how to scale, beyond 85. But so we just finished the launch. Again, it's a very simple process. I don't want to make it sound like it's complicated. I make content on social media. My platform is Instagram and TikTok. I have 15 million views a month, 10 million views a month on a bad month. So that's top of funnel. It goes in, people give emails to get the downloadable, which offers more context than a 30-second video. With the email, we follow Jeff Walker's Launch, which is a book that you can get off Amazon. It's called Launch. It's called, the newest one is just called Launch. So then we launch multiple times. We learn a lot from the launch. You get up to 10,000 a month and 20,000 a month and 30,000 a month. And then we're going to launch a new community/program in 2026. It's going to be called 2 hours a day to 200,000 K. So it's going to be your 6-figure side hustle. So we're going to teach people how to do what we've done, which is spend 2 hours a day to get to 200K a year. So, I mean, we don't know if it's going to be 200K in 2 hours a day, or is it going to be 2 hours a day to 200K? They both sound good. So we're going to launch that as our mid-ticket. And then we're going to scale hopefully past 30 to maybe around 50,000 a month. And then once we perfect that, because we launched around like 15 times already, right? So we kind of know the process. And then just keep taking courses from people who are ahead of us to keep moving in that direction. Hopefully that makes some sense. So that's where we're at now. And that's about it. Happy Friday.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Jim. Happy Friday to you. And yeah, just learning a lot from your journey here. And, thanks so much for, all the insights you always share. And yeah, I think it's good. Jim mentioned a mid ticket. So yeah, like one of the pro tips I always share with everyone is you always have to have your high ticket, your mid ticket, and your low ticket. Okay. Always have those offers ready to go in your back pocket. Okay. So this is absolutely critical because you're meeting people where they're at. And then you let people know, hey, this is the ascension, right? This is what it looks like to work with me and my programs, and I have, offers at all different levels. So it's really, really critical there. And you notice that Jim is continuing to learn, even, like he's not, you know, getting complacent on where he's at. He's always learning and growing and seeing, oh, how can I optimize even more? Right? So yeah, we're learning a lot from you, Jim. We aspire to get to that level, and thanks for always sharing the playbook with us. And yeah, I mean, I haven't done 10 videos a day on TikTok. I haven't had the bandwidth to make that happen. I've been prioritizing other things, but starting in the new year, you better believe I'm gonna be extra committed to, doing more on TikTok in particular, and really focusing on, one, two, three channels max and just really dominating on those channels. And I did share with everyone in the Purple Pill, we had talked about LinkedIn earlier. So you got to understand where your revenue is coming per channel, right? So per channel, the source. So for example, for me lately, LinkedIn has been a great source of revenue because of the referrals I've been getting from former colleagues has been a huge referral source. And, we're connected on LinkedIn, right? A former colleague I used to work with introduced me to two big accounts. And so that's been huge. So that's been keeping me busy. So the point is you got to pay attention to what is the source of the highest producing revenue? Which channel is that? And those are clear indicators and you got to follow that. So, and essentially do more of what's working and less of what isn't working, but at the same time knowing and understanding that marketing is all testing. It's all testing. So so great stuff, Jim and Yvonne. You're on fire today. Thank you so much. Let's go to Max real quick, and then we're going to get to final words here. So, and we're going to do final words with Yvonne, Timo, Andy, and I'll close this out. So thanks so much. All right, Max, over to you, man.
Thank you, Andy. No, I just wanted to say hello to Jim because I live in Mexico and I met so many Canadians. And now Canada is doing a lot of things here in South America because of the mining industry. And pretty sure when I met in the future, I'm working in prop tech in Texas with some friends there. So just wanted to give a shout out on what you're doing because I read about you a long time ago. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, thank you, Max. Yeah, good to see you. Happy Friday, man. And yeah, make sure you look me up when you come to San Diego. So, or California. And yeah, man, thanks for tapping in. And yeah, we'll get to final word here, guys. And make sure you're connected with Max. He's big on LinkedIn as well. He's a PR guy. He works in the wine space and, a lot of different industries he's involved in with some investors and stuff like that. A lot of different projects. So yeah, thanks for being here, Max. Good to check in with you. Okay, Yvonne, let's go final word over to you. Thanks so much for being here today and thanks for being a Ronin.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I already talked so much. I think I've the only thing I'm gonna say is I just want to give some love to you and thank you. I'm so glad to be part of your community now, to be a Ronin. Let's freaking go, and I'm ready to freaking crush 2026. And don't wait, you guys, wherever you're at. Like, start now, start today. Like, I'm not waiting till the first of the year. That's why I was gonna have my challenge originally before that, and I'm waiting to do it until then. But because I'm freaking ready to go, man. You guys, it's a good time to be alive. Like Alex Fenn has said multiple times, and even the CEO, which I can't think of his name right now, it's just terrible. NVIDIA was talking about with AI at your fingertips, you guys, like the possibilities are endless, and it's going to make a lot of new millionaires. And now is the time. And also, don't underestimate your gifts. Sometimes when people decide they want to start doing something or run their own business, they're like, I'm not quite sure where to start. Freaking brainstorm that with AI. There are so many possibilities of things that you can do. And then also surround yourself with other people, like the beautiful, awesome, badass people in this community here, because there are so many brilliant ideas in this team and this group of people. Like, I guarantee you that, and that's why having a good coach is so important, because they can guide you to those things where then you can be like, I can turn this passion into revenue. So I'll just say I'm so glad to be here. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody crushes it this weekend with whatever it is that you're doing, and let's freaking go.
Let's go, Yvonne. Yeah, sending a lot of love and light to you today, Yvonne. Thank you so much for the kind words. And yeah, it's exciting to have others, building in public, sharing the journey. And really, you get four things when you're part of the startup circle or the revenue running community. It's four very simple things. So you really get the fast track approach. Fast track. I mean, look, you can take, a year or two, that's great. But if you want to fast track things, you need to be in community, deeper level with higher level operators who have, live the thing, done the thing, do the thing, and we're building right alongside you. That's number one. Number two, the accountability part is big. Number three is access, right? So now you have access to ask questions on the back channel and get additional valuable insights and the community aspect, right? So community access, the fast track, and coaching from people who have lived it. So that's why people sign up for the revenue running community is for those things. So and so thank you again, Yvonne. Let's go to Timo and then Andy, and then I'll close this out. All right, Timo, final word. Over to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for another fire space. Thanks for all the speakers, listeners. One, follow everyone on the space. You create the circumstances around you that makes you a winner. And one of that is creating those circumstances if we're building a network of winners. So do that. Second, join the Ronins. The prices are going up. And also check out Andy's branding product. I mean, it's still a steal. And there is one more thing, and that is, if you haven't already joined the startup circle, we are one member short of 7.1K. So who's going to be that one? If you are that, do it. Click on the startup circle text, join the community, and drop your post on the timeline there that you were the 7.1K person. Anyway, so have a great weekend. Create the winning circumstances around you. Do the hard work. Push through the noise and towards the signal and light. And enjoy your weekend. Christmas is almost here. Let's go.
And I want to comment on and acknowledge Timo, like his newsletter, man, it's really turning into sales, marketing, tech, human skills. There's so much value in his newsletter, man. Like, and I'm proud to be one of his founding members of his high stakes human skills brand. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to Timo's newsletter, please do. There's a lot of great value there. And look, we're all mastering sales and marketing, right? That's what we're committed to. We're committed to mastery in sales and marketing. That's why you're here, because those are the two highest income skills you can have. And you couple that with somebody like Timo, who's very technical, right? But now he's learned the art and the science of sales and marketing, and he's that much more unstoppable. So that's the point here. Whatever your superpower is, you overlay that with sales and marketing, your revenue is just going to keep going up, right? You're going to have the systems, you're going to have the strategies, you're going to have the tactics, what works, what doesn't. You're adapting, and the way that he's writing now, and with his writing, it's clear that he's becoming the master. He's becoming the master. You see it happening over this last year. He has become the master. Okay, so you take from where he started to where he is now on this year journey, he's become the master. So yeah, just want to share some flowers with Timo, man, because he's doing the work and he's got a full-time job. So there's no excuses, guys. And he's a dad and he's driving his kids to, all their events. And he's got a wife and he's got family and he's still making it happen, right? He's still making it happen. So that's the point. Anyone can do this. It starts with commitment. So thank you, Timo. All right, Andy, over to you, man. Final word.
Final words. You do not see things as they are. You see things as you are. Change you first. If you were the character in your movie and you're watching it in the future, and you look back, right? What are you screaming at yourself right now? It's the end of 2025. You got 2 weeks left. You still have time. Listen, you want to know a crazy thing? Somebody right now is going to buy a 10 or 20 or 50 or $100 million company before the end of the year. From today till then, somebody is going to create something. Someone's going to drop a book. Somebody's going to create a bestseller. Someone's going to write a movie. Somebody's going to release something. Why not you?
Why not us, guys? Why not us? It's prime time. It's prime time. We're doing the work. Practice makes progress, and we're making great progress. And if we reflect on the year, you've been with us since the beginning. Thank you so much for being here. And 2026 is what it's all about, guys. But let's finish. Let's go through the finish line through December. Keep your foot on the gas, as Andy says. Don't let your foot up off the gas. Just keep your foot on the gas right now. And let's finish the year strong and continue that momentum and those habits and those behaviors you've already built right now. And just continue that into the new year because it'll be that much automatic, right? It's automatic. You want behaviors that are high performing, it's automatic. And success is the byproduct. Revenue is just the byproduct to the value that you provide. And that's it. So just keep creating more value, keep demonstrating more value, and the bank account and the metrics will follow. So why not us? We're making it happen. So at the end of our lives, guys, we'll ask ourselves four simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. And if you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin community. Prices going up 2026. Lock in now on these low, affordable rates because they're going up because of supply and demand. And so, yeah, definitely sign up. We'd love to have you. Whatever plan fits your budget. And yeah, I'll just leave you with these final words.
In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing. He answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders. 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right, much love, guys. Make it a productive and profitable day. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.